Good evening as of the recording of this video. I go by Lou or Lunars, whichever you prefer. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are a regular, all I gotta say is thanks. The topic of discussion for this video is in regard to in-game statistics and what metrics you should and shouldn't worry too much about if you are trying to gauge your progression and growth as a player. Arguably the least but most sought after statistic to see go up is your kill-death ratio, or KD for short. The reason I say this is the least important statistic in my opinion is because this particular metric can be easily inflated, especially in Destiny where most of the player base in PvP is casual and there's nothing stopping them from mercilessly sitting in a 6-stack and inflating their stats. Same for people who sit in a stack and Trials non-flawless pool to farm noobs trying to get their one flawless for the weekend. If we're being real here, pretty much all the stats of all the good players in this game are inflated as fuck because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. Sure, KD is impressive, but if you observe closely, you can notice a common correlation between a high KD and a mediocre win rate that does not hold up to their stats. I'm talking about Trials and old competitive / survival. This segments well into a metric you should probably pay more attention to, and that's win rate. Even to a similar degree, win rate can be inflated if you only sit in a strong pre-made team in Trials or Survival where the matchmaking is literally random. I'm not implying that people should do carries because I think carry culture is lame as hell. Feel free to check that video out if you're interested in the details of that. This is just an observation that I thought was worth noting. Trials and competitive obviously demand good performance and winning to get the most out of it, so it's in everyone's best interest to run with good players. Needless to say, a player with a high win rate in Trials is a lot scarier than a player with a high KD, and that's because high win rate players know how to win and will die with purpose with disregard to their KD, whereas KD farmers are the type of people who will literally lose Trials rounds in games by allowing the enemy team to capture the zone instead of dying for a chance to save the game. This is probably why you see a lot of hate for zone Trials, because they can't sit in their spawn with snipers or DMTs. If I were to give an honest evaluation of my skill level represented in kill-death ratio, it would probably be roughly around the 1.5 to 2 KD range. And I say that because those are the kind of numbers I realistically drop in a high-level environment like scrims or the old ranked playlist D2 used to have. The next point of interest I want to make is that a player could perform the worst on the team but have the most impact on winning the game. You don't hear this term much in D2, but it's common in Call of Duty, Halo, or Valorant. And people coin the term impact frag. Basically getting frags known as kills. Basically if you see like a frag, that's basically a kill. But they were kills that were pivotal at the point in the game that swung the pendulum in the favor of the impact fragger in their team. Whenever you are playing Survival or Trials and it is a relatively close or tight game, and you are with people using comms, ever notice that if you get a really huge kill or an impactful kill, let's say you take out a super and live, or you trade with a super, or you take out a player who has a super, right? Without them getting it off, your buddies are losing it saying, "Huge kill, bro, you are a god for that," or "Big play." You get the idea. You made a play that quite possibly won you the game even if you felt you played ass. Some of these clips are examples of impact frags, and you can hear their teammates go crazy about it.
2 steps. They have a shield on left.
No, man. He's tough. Nice, good trade.
Nice, Gary. Can you run? Can you run?
No, I can't. Go one!
Big!
Hey, no, nice. Let's get.
I guess we can pull out some old tourney footage here. So
He kicks one. Nice. One more shotty out. Yo, Abso! Get him, nice.
I'll let it play out.
No, but he's a crack. Run from that, Lewis. Run from that.
All right, so at this point, the entire team had pretty much gotten wiped, right? And I was the last one up, and Cheeky popped his super. This was the $2.5 thousand tourney on console, like in 2019 or some shit like that. But at this point, our team got wiped. We basically took a huge L, all dying and losing the fight. So I basically had to do what I can to salvage this.
Need to bait that out. Whoever's fine here, go.
So I run.
He's chasing me right now.
Go to the teammates, right here. There's a warp.
See? 2 of my teammates died again to a Nova Warp, right? So I have to run. I have to live. If I die here, they're up and score, and they get the play back and spawn. Keep the timer in mind.
Lunar, you need to make a play with
What that
that.
mean?
Got one.
Nice, Lunars. Lunars, if you get 2, bro, we can win. J-Kai, back up. Triple J.
I traded.
I got one.
I forgot that J-Kai goosed his super here, but it's all good.
Those one.
I
Melee
missed.
me. One shot.
Look at the rubber banding on him, bro. Like, how are you supposed to aim at that? Anyways.
Yo, he's Abso. Lunar, run. Get inside.
Luna's going back up. Luna's back up. Hurry up.
I traded out.
Trade.
Trade it.
See, this is an example of an impact frag because, like, look at me. I'm bottom
Get inside,
frag
everybody,
on the board, right? Basically, I secured a trade, which upped the score by 1, so my team could hide. And, you know, because the game went to time, right? Like, these are normally how scrim games go, especially in a tournament with a lot of money. These are normally how scrim games go. A lot of money on the line, so teams are playing a lot more conservative and not, you know, straight lining and being aggressive like we usually would in scrims. So I secured this kill thanks to me staying alive and getting a frag with my super. That won us the game. Even if I bottom fragged, I still won us that game here. So, just to keep in mind.
Oh, I'm in C right now.
Yeah, this was this was the very first console tournament, and shortly after Warmind came out, because when Warmind came out, this was when private matches came out, and this is me scoring a 1v4 clutch in survival against 4 supers, right? I'll let it play out and explain the rest.
We need to stop peeking, like, survival. It's literally who can play more passive. Yeah, shoddy, Trevor's done. Yeah. Run at them, dude. They have 4 supers.
It doesn't matter. Don't waste your ability.
Yeah.
I was supposed to win that fight.
One of them has shoddy, watch out.
They're all pushing. Do not throw a nade. Actually,
I don't have a nade.
1v3. If you see 3 of them group, maybe pop super, but that's really risky. 218.
GG.
Wow. Brother! I'm done, brother.
Well, all the celebratory things aside, I mean, look, I'm doing bad this game. 1.1, like, I'm not doing that great, and I still scored us around, right? Because at this point in the series, we were down, what? We were down, it was 1-1, right? So, this was the tiebreaker, because it was best of 3. It was 1-1, we lost the first game, and then we won the second game. And then this was basically the tiebreaker, survival, right? Like, if it wasn't for me winning this round here, we probably would have gotten first rounded out of this tournament. And look, Nico, Wilco, Barnesy, like, really good team. Like, these were all D1 players, right? So, for just another example of, like, a good play or impact frags that win us the game. And I didn't even play good. Even in some of these clips, I emphasize that I didn't play well overall throughout the course of the game. I am aware that I suck at explaining stuff on the fly, but hopefully several of these clips I showed you get my point across as to what an impact frag may look like in game. For another simple example of an impact frag versus stat padding, you know how in 6v6 there's always that one weirdo who panic pops a super in a one-on-one engagement with you in the middle of the map, in the middle of nowhere near an objective? Those are the type of players that are stat padding and trying to make sure they don't go negative in a pub match. Meanwhile, there is another player who uses their super to create space and clear a path for their teammates to take a flag or get a power position on the map. It's pretty much a no-brainer which one is the better play towards winning a game. Everyone knows who Walla is, right? He is easily one of the best PvP players in the game. If you ever watch him play high-level scrims or tourneys, one can make the observation that he is usually the middle to bottom fragging player on his team. I'm not throwing shots at Walla because the dude literally played a tourney against me, posted me on YouTube of me going negative, so I know my place. Don't worry. Just to get that clear. That does not necessarily mean he is playing bad, but he plays to make an impact and set his teammates up to clean up his damage or get his refrags. That means he slingshots himself headfirst and initiates team engagements by getting the enemy team to look at him first. The goal here is to be a nuisance on Hunter and be a really hard or annoying kill while drawing attention away from his teammates who are baiting him, usually the primary oriented players or the sniper. As a result, he may have bottom fragged, but he was a core part of why his team wins games and why he wins tournaments. In conclusion, I decided that I wanted to talk about this because I am hoping this video gives hope to players who think they themselves are performing terrible or letting an entire team down because they only looked at their KDA or efficiency in the after game report, instead of looking at the bigger picture, such as their damage or how little deaths they may have had compared to their teammates who fragged out but died like 20 times. Nobody is perfect, and everyone's journey to growth is unique and non-linear. As always, feel free to leave any comments or questions on something in the video that sparked your interest. Thanks for listening. Peace.